My final topic that I'm going to cover is about feedback and the importance of it for students. And, I think about like my experience as a teacher, as a university student, sometimes even as a mom, and how effective I find good feedback. And I'm not talking about like, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, but more prescriptive, more specific. So this is something that I've noticed with some teachers, whether they're my own as sessional instructors or profs in university. The ones who are the ones who are willing to put in the time to give specific feedback um, and kind of explain their thinking are the ones that help me improve more as a teacher and as a student. And the same applies for honestly any concept you want to apply it to. Despite the fact that we are mandated by our ministry to, do assessment and give feedback to our students, that's how they grow, right? That's something that we should be doing all the time anyway. And I feel like as a goal for teachers should be to try to give some piece of feedback to students every day, every lesson. And it should be kind of prescriptive, applicable to what they're talking about and something specific that they can work on. So not just saying things like, you did a good job or you did this wrong. But the example that the textbook had when it was talking about corrective feedback in math was, instead of saying, you're doing a great job, the teacher says, you remembered to carry. All of the answers in the first row are correct. Good job. And so the student, that'll stick in the student's brain, right? Oh, I remembered to carry, and I got praised for that. And so I think feedback should be prescriptive. I think it should be immediate as often as possible or as quickly as possible, whether it is on like verbal feedback that you're giving a student when you're working on a task or a lesson, or when they hand something in, hand an activity or an assignment in, providing that feedback as soon as possible, right? Because most of our subjects or our concepts, especially in math and some ELA, are scaffolded on. And so if a student is working on the foundations and they don't have a solid grasp on the foundations of what they're working on, it's really hard for them to move up to that next level. And so giving immediate feedback and knowing where the child might need extra help or being told that they are doing a good job can, one, eliminate some anxiety if they are being told that they're doing things correctly, and two, correct the behavior, the concept, the procedure as soon as possible so that they can continue growing and scaffolding onto that next level. But I think it's the same, take the subject out of it, whether it's math, ELA, health, science, social, I don't care. Good prescriptive feedback is good for all of us. I think that's something that all of us benefit from, and I relate this to my own life and saying, instead of my husband telling me I'm a good mom, I appreciate that. But I love it when he says, I love the way that you compliment our babies, right? And then that makes me feel like I'm doing something right. And then it makes me focus on that a little bit more, because I know that that's something that's being seen and appreciated. And it's not just something I'm doing for me, but something that he notices that I'm doing for our children. So good prescriptive feedback and as immediate as possible, I think, are two really important parts of feedback and assessment.